Hi, my name's Colin. Welcome to Paint Watercolours. So if you're ready, let's get started. Hi, welcome back to Paint Watercolours with me, Colin. So if you don't want to paint on your own, grab a friend and paint this one together and have some fun with it. So we're going to kick off with some cobalt blue, the top of the sky. The board is laying flat and I've stretched the paper to the edge. Just bring it down through the film of water that's on it. The paper's been wetted. I'll bring it roughly down to about here, paling off, very pale. Some Naples yellow, relatively weak. Bring it across the hills, it doesn't matter. Or sienna to here. This is raw umber with just a touch of burnt sienna, quite pale. And then just a touch of Naples yellow. Same on this side. I want this to be nice and pale. This is raw sienna, cobalt blue, with just a touch of burnt sienna. Got a few streaks in here as well. Just want to take out one or two areas where I want to put some clouds in. This is cobalt blue, cad red deep and light red, just a little touch of light red. I just want to add some interest, that's all really. And with a damp brush, just soften the top edge of the clouds. For a nice transition into the blue. Just soften the under edge as well into the Naples yellow. I'm just going to darken it up slightly, just for a change in colour, tint, tone. And I'm not putting any here, because when I put the tree in, I want that to be the main source of interest. And then we're going to leave that to dry. Once you've got your sky dry, we can just move on to these hills at the back, and I'm just re-wetting the whole of the area, everywhere. Down to the lake shore, and then into that I'm just going to run some, this is raw sienna, cobalt blue, with a touch of burnt sienna. Tiny touch in here, not too much. I want this to fade a little bit down at the bottom so that the tree stands out. And right at the bottom I just want to drop in some burnt umber and burnt sienna. just along the shoreline at the bottom. Taking the tops off, soften the back edge. Then we have to leave that to dry for a moment or two. I just want to add a little bit of mist in there, just where these trees are, because I want them to show up very nicely. Once your hill's dry, we're just going to add some form to it and put some shadows on it. This is the mixture of the cloud colour, which is cobalt blue, cadmium red deep, and just a touch of cadmium, sorry, just a touch of light red. Shape your hill. Damp brush. Soften off these edges. Some shape. A bit darker and stronger as we come down. Once again, soften it off into the trees. Just leave that to dry a moment. Then with a weak mix of cobalt blue, burnt sienna and viridian, I'm going to paint the background evergreens in. This is quite a watery mix. Very little detail on these, quite far away. Don't make them all the same size. Just putting the tree trunks in. This is a very small liner brush, the smallest I've got, which is, I think it's a treble O. This is viridian, cobalt blue and burnt umber. It's changed from the burnt sienna just to make it a little bit darker. And then with a thicker mix of the cobalt green, viridian green, cobalt blue and burnt sienna, we come to the foreground trees, and as it's a thicker mixture it will be stronger. Just pull your trees out with your brush. Just like that. I'll do the next one. And because this can be a bit tedious, I'll turn the camera off and we'll see what it looks like when we get back. Once you've painted your trees in like that, we're going to move to the darker colour of the cobalt blue, viridian green, and this time instead of the burnt sienna it's burnt umber, just to make it a little darker. And I'm just going to add this into the tree just to make it a little stronger. Just drop it in and let it have its way. Just drop it on one side of the tree only. Pick which side you're going to have the shadow side on. That's the side. Just drop it in. We also need to add some shadow under the trees. This will help attach them to the ground. This is the same mixture of the cobalt blue, burnt sienna and viridian. Just adding some of the earthier colour that we had before. Burnt sienna and raw sienna. Just soften that. Of the viridian green, cobalt blue and burnt umber. Just adding some stronger shadows. I've got the board laying flat at the moment, and what I'm doing, I'm just putting in the water before we go any further, and I'm just bringing it round the tree. So wet the lake area. Once you've re-wet the whole of your lake area, just leave it a couple of minutes so the water penetrates it, and we're just going to go through the colours we used in the sky. Some Naples yellow, cobalt blue on the top end, and some of the hill colouring, all the way across, very pale in this corner. Then just adding some of the cloud colour which you used before. Some of the tree colour, the evergreens. Just going to add the shadow, the reflections in. Add these in. And some of the cloud colour once again. Darken it in patches. Don't spend too much time messing around. Strengthen that up in places. Soften in some of the reflections. I'm just taking out the centre. Leave that to dry. I just wanted to show you this. My paper's dried out a little bit too much. You may find that this will happen to you, especially if you're using a hairdryer to dry it. Take your picture off the board once the paint has dried on the front. Clean the whole of your board, and then turn your paper over, and with a large brush add some water to the back. Take it close, taking care not to go over the edge of the paper, all the way around. And once this is soaked in a little bit, you turn it over and you then put a couple of heavy books on it just to flatten it out. Okay, once you've re-wet the back of your page and you give it a few minutes just to soak in, turn it completely over and reposition it on your board. That's about there. And then just with a couple of heavy books, cover it and leave it for a few minutes. Then after a couple of minutes I've taken the books off, your paper's nice and damp again and it's flat. This is a squirrel mop brush, and with a mixture of the green, which is the lighter one, which is the cobalt blue, viridian and burnt sienna, I'm just going to tap in some foliage. I'm going to move into the darker green, which is the cobalt blue, viridian and burnt umber. Once again I'm just taking the excess off. Then underneath I'm just going to put the the shadows underneath. And I'm just going to put a line of, I'm just going to put some burnt sienna for the tree trunks. Just this is the underwash. This is burnt umber. Just a touch of cobalt blue, I think. And then this is a mixture of Prussian blue and burnt umber into the tops of the trees. Just adding all this wet into wet. This is a number 4 rigger, but you can use any brush that you have if you can get some faint lines to come on it, thin lines. Shape your branches. Liner brush. I'm just going to turn the board round. Find it easiest to do it upside down sometimes. And then we're just going to put the thinner branches in. Maybe that was behind that. Okay. I'll just show you a few. And you can do yours. Don't forget some of the dead twigs as well and sticks that come off a tree. Welcome back. The painting's gone. Your tree should look something like that. And I've just put a bush in. I've just done with a rigger brush. And what I'm doing now, I'm just softening in the roots into the ground. This helps to attach them, as you can see. Raw umber. I'm just going to put some in. Working quickly now along the edges of the lake. Straightforward raw umber. Then into that some of the earthy green colour. Which is the cobalt blue, viridian and burnt umber, but a very, very strong mix. Just pull it into the raw umber and let it come together. And this is burnt umber and cobalt blue. Just pull that in. Tighten up the shoreline. This is just burnt umber. So, I think we might scrape out a few boulders and rocks. With the foreground being dark, it will make these hills recede. So we just have to let this dry off slightly. Now it's just dried off a little bit, I'm just going to take a palette knife and we're just going to scratch in some pebbles and rocks along the shore. This is one of the easiest ways to do it. I used to paint them in one at a time, but this is sometimes just so easier. Just about. Now, once you've dried your shoreline off a bit, we're just missing a couple of reflections, so I'm just going to put this in. I'm just laying some clean water over the top of the lake wash. Into that, I'm just going to drop the original raw umber wash that went on first. And then into that, some of that murky green. soften the reflection out with a very damp brush. A couple of birds in the sky. And just to reinforce the shadow. Let that completely dry. Now that your painting's completely dry, all I've done is just scratched in with a craft knife and a ruler, some wind streaks, and we're just going to finish it off now with a couple of grasses that grow out into the water from the bank, just to add a little bit more interest. Some reflections. We're going to call that one finished. And I think we'll call this Peaceful Waters. Once your painting's finished, it's completely dry, don't forget to sign it. It's now ready to have a mount put around it and framed. Thank you very much for watching. If you've enjoyed this video, please click the like button, and if you want to see further painting videos in the future, please subscribe. Thank you very much for watching.